All right, Ambush. Today we are joined by Dennis Ellsworth. You may know him for some of his solo work, some of his work with a couple of other groups. Either way, Dennis has picked up 14 PEI Music Awards through over a decade inside of this musical journey, this experience, and now there is a new chapter entitled The Moneygoround, which we're here to dive into today. How's it going today, Dennis?
Going great. Going great. No complaint.
Ooh, I like to hear that. I like to hear that because I feel the same way, and I am very excited to dive into this new band here as well. So, of course, my first question is, like I mentioned, for those of you who do know you, maybe they know you from your solo work, from other bands. So exactly, the first thing I'd love to know is, how did this new group, The Moneygoround, actually come together?
Well, it's a collection of folks that I've played music with over the years. My last three solo records, the guys who play drums and bass in The Moneygoround played on those three albums. And I've produced a record for Katie. And Dan has been one of my musical compadres for 25 years. So, this is a mishmash of people that I've been sharing the musical ride with for quite some time anyway. And I just felt like it was a good idea to put a new set of clothes on, on the music that I was writing and kind of try to give it a new spin. And we worked with Joel Plaskett on this record, and I had already worked with Joel. So it's kind of like it's a bit of a confluence or convergence of, people from all different sides of my musical life coming together into one band. So it's been really great, actually. It's very cool.
Awesome. So all various people from different moments, different pieces of this journey, which is fantastic to hear. So, of course, when you have all of these different artists involved in the project, how exactly did you guys come to sort of settling on the band's sound?
Well, we just kind of left that up to whatever we ended up sounding like. We didn't really try to design it too much. I mean, everybody has their own spin on things and how they want something that they're a part of to sound. We didn't really ever disagree on anything, so we just went with the flow, and of course a lot of the sound that you've heard anyway. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the studio that kind of helps foster that sound. So it's not, when we rehearsed these songs, we played them. That's all we did. We just kind of played them and let organic matter take over. And then we got to the studio, and then we just kind of went a little bit deeper, and we just sort of gave some of the creativity to Joel and said, "This is who we're influenced by. This is kind of what we're going for, but we don't have to be so on the nose with it. In fact, we don't want to be on the nose with it. If we're too on the nose with it, then it just kind of fails in my estimation. So we needed to be careful about it, but it wasn't overwrought. We just let it be what it was going to be. And I think that really paid off.
Okay, so allowing yourself to be influenced by some of those 60s sounds and otherwise, but trying to not limit yourself by sounding exactly like those, trying to allow the creativity to flow, to allow it to become whatever else it may become from there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, I mean, there's always an element of my process anyway that just lets whatever course this is naturally supposed to take. I've always kind of got a door open for that to come into the room, because it's important that I don't just try to wring everything out of it or make it exactly the way that I want something to sound. Because, in 20 years or even 5 years from now, if I do that with everything I do, I'm probably going to come back to it and just kind of go, yeah, I really made it sound like that. Or There's going to be no mystery to it. Like, I like that there's an element of mystery in music that you just can't control.
Yes, it's part of the beauty, part of the magic.
Exactly.
That comes with music for sure. And I'd like to dive behind some of the magic of this latest single. But of course, before you guys released this new debut single, you actually played your first live show for the Moneygoround about a month prior before that happened. And it was sold out. So what was it like to play live with this new band, with these new songs, and then B, to do so in front of a live crowd? What was the reaction like?
Oh, the reaction was awesome. People were really into it. And we kind of expected people would be into it. We were drawing from, a lot of different pockets of the music fan base around here in PEI, where we're from. So, we knew that we were going to have a lively audience. We knew that we were going to have some young people in the audience and then some older folks in the audience. We knew that we were going to be nervous. We knew that all these things were going to be part of it. But, the nerves went away after about a minute or two once we got into playing. And we had just finished recording the album. So we weren't out of practice. In fact, we were probably at the peak at that point for how we played these songs. So going into it, it was really exciting. And as soon as we finished the show and we left the stage, everybody just kind of said, "Well, we have to do that again as soon as possible." So we're scheduling shows now and scheduling this release. So everything is going to start happening. We'll probably start announcing things just after Christmas.
Ooh.
What's going to happen next for the Moneygoround? But that particular night in Charlottetown was pretty special. Just to jump up on stage and take this for a test drive and see what people thought of it. Yeah, people really enjoyed it.
Love it. I love it. And it sounds like the wheel is starting to move pretty quickly, because you mentioned you guys had just gotten out of studio. You recorded the album in September, correct?
Yes. Yeah. The end of September.
Oh, wow. So straight from recording to the live stage. And then at the end of November, you finally release the debut single here for the Moneygoround, with a very cherry. I love this song. The vibe that comes with it, just the chorus itself is just so catchy. Take us a little bit behind this song. What exactly does it mean to you, Dennis?
Well, this is a song about relationships, past and present. It starts out with a past relationship, somebody who kind of screwed me over or let me down, and it talks about how the person who I'm in a current married to has sort of, when I met that person, it wiped all of that other stuff away and sort of paved the way for where I am now in my life. But ultimately, it fits for anybody. Like you go through these ups and downs in your life and in your relationships, and it doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship, but the chorus, very cherry refers to somebody who is just amazing or excellent. And the song sort of talks about how this person makes everything okay, makes me feel fine. And the chorus says, "I know I won't disintegrate as long as I'm with you. You're very cherry, baby. I never want to make you blue." It's very simple. It's a very simple concept. The second chorus changes, though. It says, "And all the others imitate because they can't be you. You're very cherry, baby. I never want to make you blue." It's just it's a song for everybody who knows what love can do to the way you feel on a daily basis, and just the promise of that love, or making sure that you treat that person properly and respect them and give them the life that they deserve. And that's a lot of weight to bear, but that's kind of what we're all here for, and make each other feel better, right?
Well, and I really love the way that the song puts it there, because as you mentioned, the song is about somebody who maybe has scarred you. And as you say, it's through life. Most of us have those experiences where maybe we have somebody who did us wrong or whatever it is, and we become guarded. And then, you find those people that like open you up and make you realize that, oh, maybe I don't have to be defensive in this way or otherwise. But the one thing that I really love is just that, is you're very cherry. I don't want to make you blue. It's, you've brought so much into my life that I don't want to bring you down. And that's so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the sentiment. You know, and the song takes a simple approach, but then once we get to the bridge, it talks about a little bit more scope to it all, with you know, being a world of people and not just two people. Because I don't know why I threw this in there, but I felt like it was relevant. The bridge says, "Half this world is tripping over hope, and the other half is dumb, but they don't know." And I just thought that was really funny. They're dumb. They're so dumb that they don't know that they're dumb. But you know, it's just kind of a play on words, really. But ultimately, it does kind of, half this world is tripping over hope. I mean, the world we're in right now it's a tough one, and we just want it to get better. And we don't know how to walk that line. So that's where that line came from.
Wow.
You know, and then Joel had the brilliant idea of connecting that line about, and the other half is dumb, but they don't know. What he did was he said, well, why don't we put the chorus right there and jam it up against it? So it says, the other half is dumb, but they don't know. I won't disintegrate as long as I've got you. So it kind of changed the meaning of that line. The original line stopped at they don't know, but his version of it was, the other half is dumb, but they don't know. I won't disintegrate as long as I've got you. You're very cherry, baby. I never want to make you blue. So it just kind of turned it all back around on itself and brought it back to the romance instead of the apocalyptic effort.
Well, hey, sometimes having good companionship can definitely help through times like these as well, for sure.
100%. Yeah. I mean, we all need that stuff.
I love it.
I'm glad you dig it. I'm glad you dig the single. It's a fun one to sing, and it was a fun one to write. In fact, when I wrote it and I brought the song into the band, the day we put it together for the first time, everybody just went, "Wow, that song's so fun to play. It's an amazing song." And you know, like I kind of feel like we just found something that is sort of like a defining piece of who we are. So it's like a centerpiece of this band in that way. You know, everything else that exists on this record kind of it touches on what Very Cherry is. Very Cherry is just very straight ahead, simple, kind of 60s-ish power pop style song. And then everything else that we recorded just kind of has like a little element of that song in it somewhere. So it's a nice centerpiece. And it was I knew right away that it would be the first song we released. We had to introduce our band to the world with this song because it just kind of felt like, it just felt right. Everything was pointing in that direction. So I listened to my gut, and now the song's out there.
Hey, well, I'd say it's a very good decision, whether it's live, whether you're hearing it on a streaming platform. I'm sure the song makes you want to jump up and move your feet, because I can speak from experience myself on that one. It's very, very catchy. It's a very good listen, and I cannot wait to hear what else that the Moneygoround has cooked up. And of course, on the exact same day that you released Very Cherry, you also announced your upcoming 2020 project for the band, Cruising and Swingin'. So, like we mentioned earlier, the wheel's in motion. You guys are moving here.
Yeah, well, why waste any time? You know, I mean, it's all done. We just kind of planning it. And I think as far as what comes after this, I mean, we wanted to make a record. We made a record really quickly. We rehearsed the songs really quickly. Everything just sort of went, bam, we're a band now. We're here. Let's put this out. Why are we waiting? What are we waiting for? Everybody's just sitting at home, you know, and we're going into winter. So we're going to wrap up winter with a brand new record for everybody. And we'll probably put another single out there in the, probably early February is my guess. I think we'll have a second song So,
Okay. So, second single on the way, like we mentioned, the new album. Of course, there's a few different gears, a few wheels, cogs, one might say, in motion for this band. So, lining some things up may take a little bit of time too. But is there any other potential things that the band has maybe in the future that you could speak about? You mentioned the potential of live shows. Do you guys have any music videos potentially on the way, tours, otherwise?
we don't have any music videos that we have been working on, but did cross my mind the other day that we should put a visual out for Very Cherry. But I don't know if we will. We're just sort of flying by the seat of our pants here, going into Christmas, and I've got to move. Actually, I've got to pack up my whole house and move to a new house right before Christmas. So everything's going to go upside down for a few days. But we do have some shows scheduled for February, and is there one in March? I know there's two in February, and our release show is in April 2nd, so early April. And the album comes out March 25th. And we will probably play some shows around the East Coast of Canada around that week, just to get out there and play these tunes for people in other markets in the East Coast, because we've only played the one show so far. So we're working on things. We got some really cool T-shirts on the go. If you know anybody who needs a T-shirt, yeah, it's kind of a throw it together at the moment situation, because we're all in other projects too, right? The Langell boys, the drum and bass player, they have a band called Absolute Losers in Charlottetown. I do a lot of solo stuff, and Dan Curry, who's also in the Moneygoround, he plays in my other group. And then Katie, she's working on a bunch of songs that I'm going to produce. So there's all kinds of like weaving in and out of this band that we're all doing. So it's a bit of a scheduling situation, but we're looking forward to 2021 to get cruising and swinging with the Moneygoround out into the world, and just to see like what people really think of it, because it's something we're all really proud of, but it's also something that we made so quickly that it's kind of blurry. Like we rehearsed the other day for the first time in a while, and we had to remind ourselves how to play these songs because it had been a month. Everything happened so quickly that we're still catching up to ourselves. It was a beautiful experience, and anyway, I think it shows in the record. The record has a real vibe to it.
Awesome. Well, I love to hear that. I can't wait to hear the full album. And for those listening, to stay up to date, it sounds like the best way is to just go ahead and follow the Moneygoround on your favorite social media platforms so that you can stay up to date with all of the cool new jams and things that are coming your way from this new band. Dennis, I have one last question for you here today. Are you ready for it?
Hit me.
All right, so we've been diving into this birth of this new band, growing into it, the creation of this new single, Very Cherry, and this new album. So what I would like to know now is, through this process, through this time, how has it exactly helped you to grow as a person, or what has it taught you about yourself?
Good question. I think that this is a band through and through. Where everybody's sort of an equal member. We're a democratic process, which I've been a member of before. I've been in bands with that mentality, but this is the first one in a while that I've been in. So, and I'm so used to controlling everything. I'm so used to being producing my own records and writing all my songs myself, and going into the studio just by myself and bringing people into the studio and telling them what I want them to play, and then filling in all the coloring it in around that. So I was really excited to go about it a different way, and to record live off the floor, and to let other people into the creative process. So, because it's been that way for me for so long, it wasn't a new thing for me, but I had to remind myself how to share the experience with other people on an equal basis instead of sort of really being the boss. I'm not the boss in this band. I write a lot of the songs, but everybody's able to write songs if they want to and bring them into this fold. So it's it's new again to me. It's not new, but it's new again. So I've kind of had to embrace that, which, after doing it by myself for the last 5 years, it wasn't difficult to remember how to do, but it was something that I kind of had to hit a reset button. And it's been rewarding because, I don't know all the best ideas. So the people who I've brought in to be in this band or who are in this band with me, their ideas are just as welcome. And a lot of times the best ideas to make the song the best it can be, including Joel Plaskett, who we brought in as the producer and essentially, a sixth member at that point, because the songs were so fresh. He was kind of guiding us and we were putting all this together. So it was an experience for all of us to we were all rewarded by this record because the record is the product of our openness to each other's creativity. So I think sharing in the creativity is probably the coolest reward that we've all gotten out of this. And it's something that, like I said, I kind of had to remind myself how to do it because I've just been solo guy in the studio for 5 years. So it's really nice to collaborate with people again like that. And I'm really pleased with it. I can't wait for people to hear it.
Well, I cannot wait to hear it myself. I'm sure the fans who have heard Very Cherry, who saw the band live, cannot wait themselves either. And I want to thank you so very much, Dennis, for joining us here today on the Desert Tiger Podcast.
My pleasure, man. Thank you so much.